If you are looking at buying a townhouse or a villa in Dubai, then there are few steps that you need to get right. And if you get any of them wrong, there are chances it could cost you hundreds of thousands of dirhams. So I'm exactly going to walk you through the entire process from your budget to the case, what is involved. It's just going to be a quick video, but quickly, my name is Dhruv Vindrani and I'm from Property Zone Real Estate. Just go have a look at my Instagram. It's right on your screen and let's dive in the video. Now, this is what I'm going to cover today, but let's just go to the main area. First of all, you have to know your real budget. At the end of the day, the house and the listing price is just not it. Other than the listing price, there are few costs that are involved that you have to take into account for, like the DLD fees, the agency fees, you have the trustee and NOC fees, the moving costs, the appliances and furniture. Now, for the exact cost breakdown, of course, I'll be going into the numbers later on as well, but this is what you have to take into account for, because if a 5 million property is going to be there, then there are 300 to 400,000 dirhams that are going to cost you more just in the DLD fees, agency fees, trustee, NOC, and all, just including all of it as well. And if you are taking a mortgage, you have to understand that what is the mortgage process as well. Of course, mortgage advisors are going to help you in regards to that, but there are mortgage registration fees as well, other costs that are involved with getting the mortgage done as well, like the bank evaluation, what is the max loan that you are going to get if you're an expat or a UAE national, and of course the down payment is going to be 20%, and then it does not cover the 6% of the DLD fees and agency fees. Take into account of those costs as well. And of course, you have to get a pre-approval done before you view a house, because it just doesn't save the broker's time or the seller's time. It also saves your time, the bank's time, and also it doesn't make you lose out on a property which is there in the market, but you never know when it is going to be gone. Going to choosing the right community. Now, if you're an end user, there are few things you have to prioritize. First of all is the lifestyle. You have to see the commute and the schools within the community. What is the kind of lifestyle that you need? Is it more of a lively community where you want to have a walk around? Is it more of a sports kind of amenities that you want, where you have multiple sports courts in a community? Do you want a wellness type community where there are zen areas, where there are multiple pools that you can chill in, multiple areas that you can just go and sit and have a good time in the community? Or do you want a beach community? And there are multiple communities that cater to every single one in Dubai. That is one of the reasons why Dubai is attracting a lot of people, and people are coming into these communities to live into. And if you're an investor, you have to see what is the supply in that area first of all, especially in the community. If it's a big community, you have to see, are there going to be many units that you are going to be competing with in the coming future or not? Then you also have to see the rental yield that you're going to get, because that is the main priority of an investor, and also the capital appreciation that you will be getting. If the supply is more, capital appreciation will be less, but the rental can still come up high. And also the developer track record, because honestly, if you go into a developer that is, let's say, not giving its best quality, not giving the best product, there are chances that that particular community will fall back comparing to other communities within that vicinity. Now, this one is specifically the second point in choosing the right community, is specifically for an end user. Now, the commute time is one of the most important ones in Dubai. Everyone knows that traffic is a big thing in Dubai, and it takes a lot of time out of your day. But you have to see that when you're going to a community, when you consider it, you have to see during the peak hours, instead of half an hour, is it going to take you 1.5, or at least, or is it going to take you 2 hours? Because honestly, time is money, guys. I mean, that is one of the things that you have to keep in mind, because but at least it doesn't take a hit on you if you're driving to work and that takes half an hour, but coming back takes another 2 hours. That is not what the right kind of community should look like. And even for your children or your grandparents or even your spouse, all the people can be accommodated for in the community. Let's say the school can be there for the children, there are multiple playing areas, kids play areas. For the spouse, there's a good community center that they can go and chill into. For the grandparents, there is at least a walking trail or multiple amenities that are accessible for the grandparents as well. And also, is it new build or a secondary market? Now, in a new build, you get warranty, you get newer finishes, you get modern finishes as well. And one of the advantages is going to be the payment plan. If you're choosing something off plan, which is going to be in the next 2 to 3 or 4 years maximum, then that can be in payment plan, and that also gives you a kind of leverage on your money where you just don't have to put all of it at once, and you can divide your money equally wherever you want. Of course, you'll get modern finishes according to 4 years down the line, and you'll get a warranty as well. Whereas in the secondary market, the advantage you get is going to be an established community, which means you just have to move into it. There is going to be no issue waiting for the whole community to come up. You have a faster movement, which I just said, and potentially a better PSF value depending on which community you look into. Now, the comparison between new build and secondary, I would say, completely depends, because even in secondary, you could, at the end of the day, take a mortgage and pay interest on it. But sometimes people don't prefer giving that interest, where a house ends up costing them almost a million or 1.5 million dirhams more than what they should be doing, what they should be paying. So people prefer new build and just pay it off slowly in the next 3 to 4 years. Next one is understanding all the costs. As I said in the previous slide, that the listing price is not it. Just as an example, the purchase price is 5 million dirhams, DLD fees comes to 200,000, agency fee comes to 105,000 dirhams, trustee fees another 4,200, NOC fees is another. So NOC fees basically depends developer to developer. I'm just taking a rough mark of around 5,250 because that is the usual one. In total, that is 5.314 million dirhams. And I'm not even adding, like, let's say, the mortgage registration fees, which is 0.25% of the loan amount that you will be taking, and the valuation fees as well. Now, on top of this, if a house does not have the appliances, a normal set of appliances would cost you anywhere between 50 to 60,000 dirhams. If you're landscaping the house, that could cost you another 100,000 dirhams. The furniture could cost you another 100,000 dirhams, and also multiple if you want to do interior renovation, or if it's a newer build, then of course you don't need to do it. But if you're going in an older community, then you want to do some interior renovation, just move some stuff around, that could potentially cost you up to another 50 to 60,000 dirhams. So in total, you're looking at 300,000 more as well. So you need to take that into account too. So a house that is of 5 million could potentially cost you up to 5.6 to 5.7 billion dirhams. If you are from the US, then that would be somewhere around 200,000 US dollars, if I'm not wrong. If you're from Europe, then it should cost you around 170, and if you're looking at pounds, then around 120, 130,000 pounds is what I would say are going to be the extra additional costs on top of the house that you're already buying. Now, also there's title deed annotation fees, which is a small one too. And then cash versus mortgage. What are you looking at getting into? Of course, if it's cash, it's a faster process. No need to worry about it at all. Of course, in mortgage, you don't need to worry about it as well. But in cash, you have a lower total fees because you don't need to add mortgage registration, you don't need to add bank valuation and other costs that are involved. And also, you get Dubai is a market where if you're a cash buyer, then you have a stronger negotiating position with the seller. That is what the norm is in Dubai. I think it's all across the world. If you're paying cash, you just get a quicker deal, and the seller prefers it as well. And the only thing with cash is your capital is fully going to be locked into one asset. Of course, down the line, you could take equity out, but at least for a moment, your whole money is going to be locked into that particular asset. In the mortgage, it's not necessarily bad. If you're investing, it's not bad, I would say, because at the end, if you have leverage, then the tenant is going to pay off your rent gradually. If not in one go, of course, it's going to be gradual. But the cost is going to be higher than the cash, obviously. And over long term, the price, of course, will be higher, as the interest is going to be there on the loan amount too. But the approval approximately takes 3 to 4 weeks. Sorry, 2 to 4 weeks, but usually it takes 3 to 4 weeks. And That's all it is about cash versus mortgage. Of course, I've written that cash is not always better. It's just that the leverage argument for mortgage is real. Like, you have to understand that speaking to a mortgage advisor is also very much important before your home buying process too. Looking at the buying process, now that you've seen the house, you've viewed the house and you like it, you go on and agree on the price with the seller. You're going to negotiate with the seller. In fact, you are not going to negotiate. You're going to come to the broker that is going to be there, which is me. We negotiate on your behalf with the seller, get the price that both can agree on. Then we sign the form F. Now, the process of the form F is the buyer has to generate a 10% check, which is going to be held by the broker. And upon that, the form F is digitally signed. Now, this is going to be on your phones. Once you agree on it, there are additional terms and conditions that sometimes some buyers want and also sellers want. We try to facilitate the process the whole way through. And it's just paying the 10% deposit, and it's just held in trust with the broker. Obviously, you're with the broker for a while, you've seen a couple of houses and you decide. So that is where the trust builds. And of course, when you understand the knowledge of the market too, then you get the NOC from the developer, because they need the title deed, they need the MOU that is signed, and then they need the documents of each and every single party that is involved in the deal. This is what the agent does for the seller side, but the usual payment of this is on the buyer, because they are the ones who want to buy the house. This also confirms that there is no outstanding fees that is involved with the developer, so that also assures the buyer that he doesn't have to pay anything to the developer after the transfer is complete as well. And then you go to the transfer at a trustee's office. There are many trustee offices that are located throughout Dubai, and we can go into any one of them and do the transfer. And the final payment is made over there within 1 hour. The whole property is transferred. And one of the things which I really like about Dubai is that you don't need a lawyer in particular to facilitate the process. You just need the broker, your money, and the seller that is selling his or her house. To be honest, that is the only process that needs to be there, and no other lawyer involved. Now, what to check before you sign? First of all, this is the broker's job. The broker can do it in front of you, but this is also based on trust. You have to verify the title deed. Now, on the Buy Rest app, you can check and verify the title deed if it belongs to this particular person. Hopefully, there's nothing wrong in that. Once you've checked that, you have to see if there is any outstanding fees that the seller has with the developer. If they don't, great. If they do, then the seller has to pay it, because till the time the seller owns the property, he or she is liable for that particular amount. Then you have to snag before the handover. Now, this is usually for the newer bills. Comparatively, this is not for the older bills. There's no snagging as such needed for that. Whereas in the newer bills, you have to complete the full snag of the house before signing the handover acceptance. Then you have to understand what all is included in the deal: appliances, AC units, wardrobes, what all is going to be there in the house, and what stays and what leaves must be there in the MOU as well. And then checking the service charge. It's pretty much similar to the outstanding fees, but the service charge is basically, it depends on developer to developer, community to community. If it's a townhouse or a villa, it usually is on the built up area of many major communities. So it ranges from 10 to 40,000 per year, depending if it's a townhouse or a villa. And I think that was pretty much it. I wanted it to be a quick video. We've just kept it under 20 minutes. So that was just the full process, from the budget to the keys. And for buying your first villa or townhouse in Dubai, it's not, I would say, a fast process, but it's not a hard one as well. It's There are no shortcuts involved, but just these major steps. And if you are at any stage of this, whether it's the fourth one, whether it's the first one or the second one, third one, any of the stages, and you need help with any of these single processes, my WhatsApp is in the description below. I have pinned the comment, and I specifically specialize in Mudon Al Ranim and Jabal Ali village. And around Dubai, we have a network of agents that can definitely help with your particular requirement, whether it's Arabian Ranches 3, whether it's Town Square, whether it's the Valley, whether it's even, let's say, Nadal Shiba Garden. So everything is going to be there and you don't need to worry about it. My number is there on your screen as well. If you want to talk about anything, just message me on WhatsApp. I work in both the communities and I can walk you through any one of them. Just subscribe to the video, and if you liked it, share it with someone who you think may need to watch this video as well. Till then, this was Reuben Rani. See you guys in the next video.